Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at the third and final game between sYz and SeleCT. This time we are here on GSL Daybreak. Our red Terran player in the upper right hand spawn position is SeleCT, and down on the lower left, the blue ZerG player is Blast sYz. The third and final game here in this series. We are now tied up 1-1, of course, as you would expect. And man, I tell you, sYz, kudos to you, sir. Coming out early with a early Baneling nest, is able to not only defend against the very potent push of Marine Hellion Medevac from SeleCT, but also counter with a Baneling bust right into SeleCT's main. SeleCT, as a result of investing so much in his push, had nothing back at home to defend against the Baneling bust, and sYz was able to not only mop up SeleCT's main, work down almost all of his SCVs. In fact, eventually I'm pretty sure he just killed off every SCV, but at the same time also defend his natural expansion with queens and some Spielings back at home. Quite impressed indeed. So kudos to you, sYz, and unfortunately SeleCT's once more what is typically a very potent early push ended up not working out so much for him. So that was game 2. Here we are at game 3. Again, this is on GSL Daybreak. Let's take a look at what is going on. What are we doing over here this time? SeleCT. Well, SeleCT coming out here with the standard 10 depot and 12 racks. Let's see if we get that 13 refinery. There it is. 13 refinery coming on down. So the standard opener here from SeleCT. Nothing too unorthodox quite as of yet. Back over here for sYz. Is it going to be? Yes, it will. Another 15 hatch. He's just so comfortable with that. Not too concerned about having to come out with pool first there. Opening up with one base play. And you know, this is certainly a little riskier on the 2 spawn position maps. On the 4-player maps where your opponent's not necessarily going to scout you out right away, you can much more easily get away with going hatch first. But on the 2-player maps, you are going to get scouted early on, and your opponent is going to know what's happening. And it makes you prone to some early aggression. And even last game, we saw SeleCT attempt that Marine bunker harass. And look, you see what? This is exactly what I'm talking about. You get scouted early, and as a result, you have the unfortunate luxury, not luxury, you have the unfortunate, I don't know, just situation of having to deal with this type of stuff. And you might say, oh, that was no problem. He dealt with that easily. He just pulled down his drones. Yeah, pulling down those drones kind of sucks for sYz. That was a lot of mining downtime there. A lot of time that those drones were not mining where they otherwise should have been. And they're actually just going to even wait for this hatch now. And again, all that time, now finally back to their normal standard mining routine, but still so frustrating. So frustrating indeed. And that's the danger. That is the danger. That's the kind of gamble that you risk there when you decide to go hatch first on 2 spawn position maps, on 2-player maps. A couple of Marines in the center of the map. We'll be getting some map control for now that that pool is finished though. Gotta be a little careful there. Although there aren't many lings, he actually only decided to come out with 2 lings. Probably to try to make up for the fact that he had so much mining downtime, try to get that economy back up to par as to where it should be. Now those 2 lings will not get map control from the 2 Marines, but if he comes out with a few more, he should be able to. SeleCT now coming out with a factory and a reactor, so we'll be seeing those Hellions. And if it weren't for the Marines alone, the Hellions especially will be getting map control here from the Spielings and no, the regular Zerglings. And this Ling pulling forward and meets his demise there to the Marine. See you later, buddy. Gauss rifle, so effective. So effective. A couple Hellions coming out. Still just on that 1 refinery. We should be seeing some more production buildings fairly shortly here from SeleCT. He's just going to continue to come out with those SCVs, work on that economy. Of course, he will be transferring some over once this expansion is finished. Marine heading back home. One of them will still sit at the tower, and now the Hellions take over the map control portion of the game. Metabolic boost is making its way on through, about 3/4 of the way finished now. This Zergling gets taken care of. 2 more Hellions just popping right now. We're going to see another 2, or what? Nope. Look at that. SeleCT spending a bunch of resources early on to come out with a quick 3rd command center. This will be an orbital command that will be used to saturate the main and the natural, and also take advantage of the extra energy for extra mules early on. And then once he gets nice and full saturation and builds up a strong enough army, he'll eventually pull into a 3rd, which is likely to be down here. But until then, he is just going to get... He foregoes an early army for a very strong economy by getting a 3rd command center. Lings bypassing the Hellions. This is the danger on this map. You can't really block in your opponent with those Hellions because of the second avenue to escape. You at the very least have to watch them and sit over here or something. That didn't happen, and the Speedlings will now be moving right by, and they're going to be causing a whole bunch of havoc over here at the natural. Now those Hellions bypassing the Speedlings up there, that tips Select off that this is in fact occurring, and now he's just going to pull back with those Hellions. And sYz getting some more Speedlings. Now will be able to safely leave his base as these Hellions are in hot pursuit of these Speedlings. Speedlings trying to make it up in the main. Of course, there is that wall off. They don't want to corner themselves because they know the Hellions are coming. Going to try to get us around as much as possible. Taking out a few of those Hellions is all he can really hope to do right now, as he is guaranteed to lose his Zerglings. He got one. Better than nothing, though. Better than nothing indeed. Repair going down on the Hellions. Back over here, again, no additional production buildings as early, simply because of this third orbital command. A lot of resources spent into that, which otherwise could be 2 additional racks for some more marine production. Double engineer bay coming out also, and another refinery. He will, of course, be getting those 1-1 upgrades very early on with that. Lots and lots of Speedlings in play here, as sYz is not going for a third anytime soon. He's just massing up those Speedlings. So many. Oh, so many. If he's going to hit, he needs to do it before that wall finishes. And oh no, the Hellions spot the Banelings and the Speedlings at the front wall. So now he's fully aware, and he's just going to continue to poke with that. Needs to be, oh my gosh. Let's see how effective this Baneling bust is. Select is very concerned as he pulls all the way back. Speedlings, and he gets around on those Hellions, stop them from roasting those Banelings, allow them to catch on up if at all possible. He's going to go straight for that bunker now. This is not quite as effective as he may have hoped. Now he's able to stop a lot of SCVs from mining for quite a long time, but Select actually did a decent job defending against that. I gotta hats off to him, man. That could have been much worse than it was. He could have taken much more significant loss there. Select did a fairly decent job. In fact, take a look at that. That did not pay off for sYz at all. He's gonna get a full surround on these Hellions though. Select not quite paying attention, I suppose. Ends up losing all those Hellions without doing much damage, and sYz, that was actually very crucial for him. He's still behind, but not quite as far behind in taking out all those. Now with that, he won't be coming out with a lot of units anytime soon because he does need to get his economy back up, so he's going to be coming out with this third, and also a macro hatch over here for the additional larva. And what do I mean by that? Going for that Baneling bust there before the 10-minute mark meant that he sacrificed economy. Those could have been more drones, and that could have been an earlier expansion. So since that didn't work at all for him, I mean, all he really did, he killed off a little bit. He killed off the bunker. He may have dropped a depot. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But he killed off a little bit, and he just forced SCVs to pull back into the main for a short while. That was not what he was hoping to do, and Select scouting that out was crucial for him. And again, good defense there from that Baneling Speedling pressure early on that we saw from sYz. So sYz will now be droning up, also working on his upgrades, coming out with that layer tech as well. 1-1 upgrades, melee and Carapace coming through. Additional extractors also coming through, going to work up that Vespene. Of course, we should expect to see a Spire here unless he decides to go Roach and Fester, but I don't see a Roach Horn, so I don't think that is going to be the case. So we will expect a Spire here from sYz once that layer does finish. Marine tank, a little push coming out here for Select. He's got that siege tech up in play. He's just now starting the stim pack research, but he has finished the level 1 weapons upgrade. Also the armor coming through. Armory also coming out. That's going to allow for the weapons and armor level 2 here from the engineering base. And that's actually, he's going to be starting that right away. Weapons level 2 is coming out. We'll be seeing Select now land that third. However, that Zergling will be delaying that. So going to be forced to actually pull down to engage that Zergling. He's going to actually lose an SCV or two. Loses one SCV. Select will be pushing straight towards the third. He is not going to bother walking onto that creep. Very smart. Definitely not what you want to do. He's instead going to move right on over here, and sYz apparently doesn't know about this yet. There we go, pulling down with those Banelings. He now has an idea what's coming. Tanks setting up shop, Marines also coming down, and unfortunately without that upgrade, those Banelings are going to take a lot of losses as they make their way on through, but completely overwhelming Select's forces. And forcing the liftoff there of all those Marines. This Overlord could certainly be in trouble. Speedling counterattack. Where are you going to go or what? Just going to pull down with the Banelings. Looks like he's just pulling down with the Banelings. He should be hitting this third with that. Doing what he can. Centrifugal hooks very close to finished. Trying to drop with that medevac. Unfortunately, that doesn't work as he's met by a Queen and all those Speedlings. So Select not able to do too much damage in that push. In fact, if you take a look at those resources lost, and while sYz is still behind, Select definitely took some significant losses right there. Baneling's deciding not to engage. He's going to hold off before he pushes onto that third. Not feeling comfortable with doing that yet. Nice creep spread going on over here, dropping the Marines. Speedling's going to be kind of fanning around here. Now, ooh, we are going to see that Infestation Pit as well as that Spire coming through. I don't believe there's a Roach Warren, though. So, but Infestors, of course, very, very helpful. You don't need to just go Roach Infestor. Infestor and Speedling Baneling Muta is certainly very effective as well. Of course, the fungal growth being crucial from stopping those Marines from pulling back and allowing your Speedlings and Banelings to catch up to them. Also, with that, of course, you've got the additional damage. The big thing with the Infestors is you have to be very careful to keep them out of tank fire. That's the major concern. Drop over here. Not going to do too much damage as he gets met by all those Speedlings. You can see at the same time a drop taking place right over here. And Select should be able to kill off this Queen. He's going to stim up these Marines. There it is. Stimming up the Marines. Going to work through some of those drones. The drop is going to be moving back over here in the main as well. All these Speedlings pulling back. Let's see what this is able to do. We got a couple of Banelings over here to deal with this. Yeah, forces a lift off. Muta's now finally coming into play as well. Dropping over here, we'll be trying to take out that Overlord. With the Mutas in play, these drops aren't going to be as effective anymore because he can take out the Medivacs unless he decides to just walk away with those. Okay, so feeling that he's okay with just his Speedlings and Banelings against dealing with this drop pressure, he has decided to finally pull him back. Again, take out those Medivacs. It's going to help you a lot. There you go. Good job. Takes out the Medivac there. Still got the Medivac up here with all these Marines, and actually still quite a few Marines left. All 8 of them, in fact. Select hasn't lost any Marines from this drop. Muta's going to take care of that. Needs to pull up with a few Speedlings as well, because otherwise he will lose most of those Mutas to those Stim Marines. Yeah, be careful, buddy. Very, very careful about engaging that. Taking a look here for Select, that is about all he has, this Medivac on that side of the map. And no counter aggression here coming from sYz either. Hive Tech is coming through. Carapace level 2 also coming through. We got tanks and Thor's actually coming out now as well. Thor's to deal with the Muta. Speedling's going to get us around. Medivac gets taken out. Marines get taken out. See you later. Big push also coming at the same time here from Select across the center of the map. We'll be breaking down these debris at the center, allowing him to quickly reinforce. And this is a very scary push here that we're seeing from Select. He's got 2 upgrades. Weapon level 3 also coming through. One weapon upgrade for the mech. Speedling and Muta counterattack. sYz going to try to do as much damage as possible while most of Select's forces are in the center of the map. Select is going to pull back. Yes, he is. He is concerned about this. He's going to be pulling back with the bulk of his forces. This is huge for sYz as he's going to delay the push from Select. Now, sYz should be losing most of this. Might be able to get away with a few of those Mutas, but delaying that was pretty big, and he also did some damage, of course, and he's going to continue to harass the main now with these Mutas. Moving on forward, needs to, of course, worry about that missile turret. He's just going to walk right by it. Luckily, doesn't end up losing any Mutas there. Ultra Cavern is coming in. I don't know if it's going to be around long, though. I don't know if sYz is going to survive this push. It's going to be close, but here come the Speedlings. He's got a full surround on all of those tanks. Oh, my gosh. Also getting us around on all those Marines. The Marine DPS is so high, but he's able to do quite a bit of damage. Not quite enough. He's going to be forced to pull back, wait for some reinforcements here. Let's take a look here. Any drops or anything? Yes, there is a drop. Drop going down in the main at the same time. That gets taken care of pretty quick. He kills off the Queen and does a little bit of damage, but not anything really significant. Select in the center of the map. We'll be scanning, killing off those creep tumors. Checking right now for an expansion that is not up. As we can see, actually, sYz is still only on the 3 bases, and we got an expansion for Select here in the center of the map. I hope this isn't a repeat of Game 1 for sYz's sake. If he gets out econ'd, he is going to lose because he will not be able to compete with the continuous reinforcements of Select. So he has got to take this out and get an expansion. This is absolutely pivotal right now. 2 macro hatches, we'll be forced to cancel those. Both of them get canceled simultaneously. We got 7 Ultras coming through, but is he going to get them out soon enough? Ultras build so slow. He is going to lose this expansion, it looks like. And that is a huge problem because Select has this up and running. Select is going to have a significant income advantage. And that will let him to continue to reinforce mass amounts of Marines and everything else. Here we go. After losing his expansion, is finally going to push on forward with the Ultras, Speedlings, and Banelings, and Mutas. And he's going to be able to take care of this frontal force, but what about those reinforcements? he can take out these reinforcements and drop additional expansions, he might be okay. He's also going to be forced to take out this expansion. sYz has to do a lot to get himself back in this game. He's very close. Stimmed up Marines do so much damage. Look at those Ultras drop. The last of the Ultras gets taken out, and Select. It's like game number 1 all over again. Sure, different unit composition and all that from sYz, but Select getting the econ advantage, and sYz, I don't see him recovering from this at all. It's going to see a major drop also taking place over here inside of the main. So many Marines. So many Marines. I don't even know if he can deal with this. Stimmed up Marine's going to take care of those feelings, no problem. Try to micro away from those Ultras. Should be forced to lift off right now as he's getting cornered. But at the same time, we got this push coming down over here. Tanks are going to siege up, and he'll probably just re-drop over here. Re-dropping while everything else pushes over here. And again, because that huge income advantage, Select can just throw units away right now. sYz is so far behind in terms of income, it doesn't really matter. Select doesn't mind just tossing units away because he knows he's got that huge advantage there. Switching up to Marauders too to much more easily take out the Ultras. And sYz calls GG. While it was an exciting game, I certainly did feel like it was a repeat of game number 1, with Select being able to do pretty significant economic damage to sYz, and as such being able to maintain a much stronger army with reinforcements, continued upgrades, and everything else. And that was a situation that sYz could simply not come back from. Quite an unfortunate situation from him. Nevertheless, it was an exciting series and an enjoyable one to cast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. As always, if you do like the content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Helps me out so much. Stay tuned in the future for some more SC2 commentary, video game news, Diablo 3 coverage, and all sorts of fun stuff. Oh joy. Oh joy indeed. Thanks again, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.